The White House residence spans 6 floors and includes 132 rooms and 35 bathrooms. That makes for 412 doors, 28 fireplaces, 8 staircases, 3 elevators, and the setup for an epic game of hide and seek. Wondering how much a place like that would cost? An appraisal valued the property at just under $400 million. I mean, it's cool enough to live in the White House simply because it is the White House. Well, other than the perks, there are weird rules and possibly ghosts. The Focus has all the details about what it's really like to live in the White House. Perks of living in the White House. Just because presidential kids have White House staff members to attend to their every need doesn't mean they're exempt from chores. For example, the Obamas instructed their first daughters, Sasha and Malia, to make their beds and clean up after themselves. Michelle Obama believed so strongly in this that it was reportedly the first thing she told the staff upon arriving at the White House. However, the First Family still enjoys a lot of things. The White House doesn't have an interior designer on its staff, so it becomes the First Lady's job to hire the interior designer that the First Family wants. The hiring occurs fairly quickly after the family moves in. The designer is responsible for redesigning and organizing the White House, apart from the historical rooms that aren't to be touched. Families that happen to be movie buffs are in luck, as the White House is home to a 42-seat tiered theater where the presidential family and guests can watch movies, sports, and television. President Franklin Roosevelt converted the East Terrace cloakroom into a theater so he could watch newsreels from World War II. It's also possible to host a prom at the White House, although it may require a lot of preparation. First daughter Susan Ford threw the only so far White House prom in 1975. The 17-year-old partied with her fellow classmates from Holton Arms School and her 21-year-old college-age date in the East Room until 1 a.m. It wasn't entirely a splashy display of wealth and power, as the class actually paid for the prom with funds raised at bake sales and school fairs. The First Family also didn't have to go far to get a dental filling. There's a dentist's office both in the basement of the White House and at the presidential retreat at Camp David. The basement also features a variety of shops, including ones that sell flowers, chocolates, and carpentry services. There's a basketball hoop out back and a garden to putter around in for the First Family, plus a swimming pool and bowling alley inside. Of course, the First Family is also allowed to move in with their pets. The last pets to live in the White House were Bo and Sonny, dogs belonging to President Obama and his family. The first pets were President Taylor's horse and a former circus pony. In between those were everything from President Jefferson's bird that flew freely throughout the house and President Adams' alligator that lived in the bathroom, to President Coolidge's group of animals that included a bear cub, 2 lion cubs, a bobcat, a wallaby, and a pygmy hippo. Downsides: if your weak Wi-Fi is keeping you from your favorite sites, the First Family feels for you. The Obamas told CBS on Super Bowl Sunday 2016 about the many Wi-Fi dead spots in the White House, and that the Obama girls got frustrated by them. In the weeks following this interview, the Roosevelt Room in the White House apparently saw improved Wi-Fi. This allowed White House personnel to briefly broadcast an event on Facebook Live. Also, chances are while living in the White House, one might come across a roach or a mouse. In 2017, White House officials allegedly submitted numerous requests for repairs and new equipment, but as reported by NBC Washington's News 4 I-Team, the most eye-opening one was for pest control to eradicate the mice getting into the Situation Room and the Navy's mess hall in the White House. In addition to this, News 4 says there are apparently roaches in the West Wing. Constant surveillance. After the assassination of President McKinley in 1901, Congress passed a law that officially charged the Secret Service with protecting the president and their family. Once you're part of the First Family, you are under constant surveillance by the Secret Service. The Secret Service is tasked with guarding the president, their family, as well as the vice president's family. Residents are constantly monitored and not allowed to go anywhere alone, which can feel quite straining. President Truman called it a great white jail and a glamorous prison. Julie Nixon complained of a lack of privacy due to the press and the guards. Paying for stuff. Every time a new president is elected, January 20th becomes an auspicious day in the White House. The president isn't allowed to move in until the exact day, as their predecessor still resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue until January 19th. The First Family will have a staff of 96 full-time and 250 part-time workers to make sure their time in the White House runs smoothly. However, until they're actually in the White House, they're on their own. The new president is responsible for getting his belongings to the White House using private movers, which he pays for using either personal or leftover campaign funds. Likewise, the outgoing president is responsible for moving to his new residence. Once the president gets inaugurated, it's usually a marathon for the staff. The entire building gets a deep clean, drapes are replaced, carpenters make small repairs and paint touch-ups, and they place their clothes in closets, stock their favorite food in the pantry, and even put their preferred toiletries in the bathroom. The president can make expansive changes to the White House, including changing the number of rooms, and the staff can move around wall panels and open or close doors to split suites into separate bedrooms, creating up to 16 bedrooms. While the president and his family live rent-free, they do have to pay for expenses such as food, toiletries, and services like dry cleaning. That reportedly came as a surprise to some families. Jackie Kennedy instructed her staff to run the White House as cheaply as possible, telling them, "We don't have nearly as much money as you read in the papers." Oh, and the White House kitchen staff have their own official Instagram page, just in case you want to check out what they're cooking for the White House staff and the First Family. Also, presidents can't just go all out on the redecorating of the White House. They are allotted a budget of $100,000, and anything over that comes directly out of their own pockets. The Carters reportedly did use all of the then budget of $50,000. The Reagans turned down the offer and redecorated it with their own money. Meanwhile, the Clintons and Obamas spent about the same amount as the Carters. But none of those figures compares to the Kennedys' full restoration of the famous house, including today's inflation. They spent $16.4 million on the project. And let's not even begin with the Trumps. If the president or first lady wants to wear designer clothing, it's something they need to pay for themselves. Not only do presidents have to pay for their own designer clothes, but they also have to cover the dry cleaning. There is a loophole, though. Designers can gift presidents and first ladies' outfits, but they have to be donated after one wear, and that includes many of these inaugural gowns worn by first ladies. Also, whenever a president holds a private party in the White House, they are responsible for paying the hourly costs for waiters and cleanup crews. Vacations are also not completely free. When a president goes on vacation, they have to foot the bill for the hotel or rental house where they stay with their family. The exception to this is Camp David, which is covered, as are the costs of security and travel to and from the vacation. Despite the fact that presidents and their families won't live in their personal residences for at least 4 years, they are also responsible for paying the mortgage and any upkeep of the houses themselves. Another thing presidents have to pay for or raise money for themselves? Presidential libraries. Following weird rules. It may seem like a pretty weird thing, but living in the White House means no opening windows. According to Michelle Obama, opening the windows and letting in some fresh air is one thing she really missed during her time in the White House. She jokingly said to Ellen DeGeneres that she would spend her first year out of the White House just hanging out the window. One perk that the president and first family lose when taking office is the pleasure of driving. None of them are allowed to drive on public roads, for safety reasons, of course. The very last president that was allowed to drive on a public road was Lyndon B. Johnson. The president and first family can still drive on private roads. George W. Bush took pleasure in driving his truck around his private ranch in Crawford, Texas, and Ronald Reagan would drive his Jeep around his Santa Barbara property. Apart from being chauffeured around in an armored vehicle, the first family is also never allowed to open a car window. On the rare occasion that a window is opened, it's usually always on private property, away from the public's eye. It may also sound shocking, but during the first week of moving into the White House, the president is asked to plan his or her funeral should anything occur during their presidency. Holidays at the White House. Living in the White House also entails getting that holiday groove on. The White House Easter egg roll is a time-honored tradition where children roll Easter eggs with a spoon and a race across the White House lawn. It dates back to 1878, though some claim that the tradition began with President Lincoln. While not technically a rule, it has also become a tradition for the president to host an annual Hanukkah party. The tradition began in 1979 while President Jimmy Carter was in office. In 1996, First Lady Hillary Clinton started a new White House tradition, hosting a dinner party to mark the end of Ramadan, the holy month of fasting and prayer for Muslims. The dinner continued through the rest of the Clinton administration and into the George W. Bush and Barack Obama presidencies. The White House also always celebrates Cinco de Mayo and Christmas. First Lady Jackie Kennedy started the tradition of Christmas tree themes all the way back in 1961, and it continues through to today. Her first Christmas tree theme was based on Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker during her husband's first year in office. Other themes have included American Flower Tree, Antique Toy, and Mother Goose. In 2017, First Lady Melania Trump chose a theme called Time-Honored Traditions. There's also a White House tradition that happens on Thanksgiving. Turkeys were pardoned sporadically at the White House starting in 1947. However, it wasn't until 1989, under George H.W. Bush, that the turkey pardon became an outright tradition. The White House is haunted. If you can't put up with ghosts, the White House probably isn't the best place for you. Presidents, First Ladies, White House staff members, and guests have reported feeling ghostly presences, hearing unexplained noises, and even running into actual apparitions. Abigail Adams and her husband John, the second president of the United States, moved to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue from the former U.S. Capitol in Philadelphia. Because the East Room of the new White House was the warmest and driest, Abigail used it to hang the wash. Her ghost, clad in a cap and lace shawl, has reportedly been seen heading towards the East Room, arms outstretched as if carrying laundry. Other ghosts haunting the White House include Andrew Jackson and Harry Truman's and the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. A lesser-known early White House personality who has been said to haunt its halls was David Burns, who sold the government most of the land on which the city of Washington, including the presidential residence, was built. Ronald Reagan, president from 1981 until 1989, told the story of how his dog barked frantically at the entrance of the Lincoln bedroom and refused to go inside. Reagan's daughter and son-in-law also reported seeing an apparition in the room. Famed British leader Winston Churchill also claimed to see Lincoln's ghost when he stayed in the Lincoln bedroom. Jenna Bush Hager, the daughter of President George W. Bush, who served from 2001 to 2009, said she and her twin sister Barbara once heard 1920s piano music coming from the fireplace in their bedroom. In 2009, then First Lady Michelle Obama told visiting schoolchildren that she and President Barack Obama sometimes heard strange noises in the hallway at night. And other times, some Obama family members felt like something was gnawing or chewing on their feet. Spooky, right? So, what did you find fascinating or excruciating about living in the White House? Sound off in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Focus.